Look at this. Whoa.
What the fuck? I know I'm not tweaking, folk. Hold on, folk. I'm still, folk. I'm still. I'm not moving. What the fuck? Why is it moving like that, folk? Hold on. I know I'm not tweaking.
Aye. Wow. Is that the sun? Aye. No, that is one is strange. That one.
I am so happy that this picture is getting traction now because I genuinely don't believe that Generation Alpha understands that a camera needs to be present for a video to be recorded. My little cousin shows me this YouTube short yesterday of this guy pretending to be alone in the wilderness with some wonderful digital circus creature. And I know there are people who make those videos ironically, but it was not ironic. He was being real. It was meant for a young audience. She shows me this video like it's an insane survival trick. How did he do it? How did he stay out there for 24 hours? And I ask her, well, he's not alone. There's clearly someone filming him. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? No, there is a guy recording you. What are you talking about? Follow for less Generation Alpha.
Wow, that's why you see all these videos are for entertainment purposes, my friends.
Are the implants going to rupture? Let's find out. Everyone's always concerned if their implants are going to rupture. Or can you juice an implant?
What machine is this? What does it do? What are these?
Looks good. Let's try this.
What are these things?
Let's see. Shell is still intact. Let's try this one.
Ah! Wait! My friend tells me that these are the things that females put to increase the size of their body, maybe body parts.
Doesn't rupture.
Is that real? This is plastic. What is this?
You know?
Plastic.
Hearing the plastic rubbing, but
this is what they put in. Oh my god.
Let's see. But
now, friend is testing the ability of those things to pop. And clearly they are extremely strong.
I guess you can't juice them, but...
but you put those on the body. How? Ay. What is that? Looks like a person floating on something, being carried by a fish. Is that Jonah from the Bible or what's up? Oh my god, this guy is having a lift there. Oh, that must be one good guy. They must be good friends with that fish, you see? Looks like a guy from this side of the world, if that is real.
Okay, so these are 5 signs that you've 100% quantum jumped into the new Earth, into this new timeline that we're in right now. Okay, number 1, you can't really eat that much food anymore. Like, you just can't. As soon as you eat, your cognitive abilities, your soul you feel very drained on a spiritual level. So your food is becoming very limited. Especially like processed food, you're limiting it. Okay, number 2 is that the synchronicities are through the roof. Like, you can't even explain it to the average Joe. Like, you can't even explain, like, the things that are happening, the synchronicities are so profound that you're actually getting shocked too sometimes. Okay, number 3, you can't talk to people anymore. Like, your friend circle, your group is so small. Maybe you talk to 1 or 2 people on the phone. And again, it's not because they're bad people or anything. It's because your downloads are happening at such a high rate that you have to preserve your energy. Okay, number 3, you keep seeing angel numbers like 1111, 222, 333. I've talked about this on my page where these are fragments of light from the multiverse. That's you contacting you in this dimension. So you're getting contacted from the higher self. Now, the last one is, this one's gonna be a little strange, but you feel like the animals are speaking to your soul. Like, you can't really explain it, but like, especially like when you see crows, black cats, owls, you are on the other side.
Why? Why does that sound so familiar?
Hi, this is just your reminder that AI doesn't exist. You've been lied to. It's a marketing term. ChatGPT is not AI. It's a service provided by OpenAI. This language is important because when we say things like AI is killing the planet, what we're really doing is absolving the humans responsible for killing the planet of any accountability. Did you know the term carbon footprint comes from a marketing campaign by the oil company BP because they wanted consumers to feel guilty about their usage of oil and not the oil companies that are actually pulling the oil out of the ground? It's like one of the most successful marketing campaigns of all time, because now we are having the conversation with each other and blaming each other for our use of AI and things like that, when 57 companies in 2024 were responsible for 80% of all carbon emissions on Earth. So yeah, AI is about as real as the metaverse, which is to say, it's not real at all. It's just a way for these tech companies to get more of our data.
That one, I don't know what to say about this tech stuff. New to that, but it's
People are using
interesting.
ChatGPT so much that they're starting to sound like it. And scientists at Florida State just proved this is actually happening in this research paper. They analyzed 22 million words from real podcast conversations, not writing, actual speech between people. And what they found is kind of disturbing. They track specific words that LLMs love to overuse, words like surpass, delve, meticulous. You know, the kind of vocabulary that sounds like someone's trying way too hard to sound smart. Then they compared conversations before and after ChatGPT existed. What they found was that words like surpass and boast increased by 140%. Words like meticulous jumped 125%. And a bunch of other words increased as well. So humans are actually adopting ChatGPT's vocabulary in real conversations. And this isn't just happening on podcasts. The same patterns are showing up in professional settings, academic talks, even political speeches. For example, the British Parliament just got exposed for the same thing. MPs are now using phrases like "I rise to speak," which increased over 600 times in a single year, when it barely appeared before ChatGPT. The researchers call this the seep-in effect. You're constantly reading AI-generated content without knowing it. Emails, articles, social media posts, your brain absorbs these patterns. And then when you're talking naturally, those same words start coming out of your mouth. So basically, tools like ChatGPT are changing how humans naturally speak. And all of these patterns came about within just the last few years. And the scary part is that right now, it's just words. But if the same thing happens with ideas and biased encoded AI systems, we could all start thinking the same way without even realizing it. The researchers warn that this is bigger than language. It's about who controls how billions of people communicate and think. Follow and I'll keep you posted.
Mind-blowing.
I think most people disregard how incredible it is that the moon and the sun take up the same amount of space in the sky, which is why we have total solar eclipses. It's purely a coincidence. In diameter, the sun is about 400 times wider than the moon, but it's also 400 times further away from the Earth. So the alignment is perfect. Total solar eclipses are one of the most rare phenomenon naturally occurring. If we one day send people to Mars, they won't have total solar eclipses unless they're like in orbit and they go behind one of the moons, and then the sizes of the sun and that moon exactly line up. What's even crazier is that the moon is moving further and further away from the Earth, but only about that much every year, which means hundreds of millions of years from now, total solar eclipses won't happen for Earth anymore.
In case you've heard about the 3-Eye Atlas but have no idea what's going on with it, let me enlighten you, because I too am not a space person. I had no idea what was happening, but people kept messaging me saying, "Ashley, will you please cover this?" So I have done an hour of research on all of our behalfs, and I will tell you why all of the space people are freaking out. First fact, this is only the third interstellar object that we have ever documented that has come into our solar system, meaning this thing came from somewhere else. It doesn't have a home. It originated in a different solar system and somehow got pulled into ours, but now it's going hyperbolic. It's not following any kind of orbit. It's just flying freely, like 26 miles an hour per second. It's been drifting for like a billion years. I actually don't know how long it's been drifting, but it's been out there. But then one day it just turns all of a sudden. Like it's following this certain path and then it just turns, and scientists are like, okay. It's glowing green and shooting gas everywhere, and NASA's like, okay, girl, photosynthesize or whatever. Quote me, it's obviously not photosynthesizing. It just has carbon, which is just putting off gas, and now it has a tail. Essentially, it changed direction and parked itself above Earth, kind of. 2 days ago, the European Space Agency released footage of it because NASA is not functioning right now. I guess they're just done tracking it for the time being, and China should have photos of it. They have a satellite right where it passed, but they just haven't said anything about it. Some people, not me, just other people online are saying, like, that's weird because why would you not take this moment to be like, haha, we got it and you didn't? People online are then taking that information to mean that there is something in the photo that they don't want us to know about. Don't worry, it's not going to hit us. It's supposed to get closest to the sun on October 30th and then just continue back somewhere into space. Because I even watched a Joe Rogan interview about this, and that's how committed I was to finding out what's going on, because all of the information is it's a lot to sift through. And the guest on the Joe Rogan show said, oh, it originated from the same place as the WOW signal, which was a 1977 broadcast that came from somewhere in the Sagittarius constellation. I tried to fact check that, and I couldn't really find any verifiable sources to say that it did come from the same place that the WOW signal came from, because the 3I Atlas comet has been drifting for so long that they can't even pinpoint where it originated. Like, there's no star constellations, no solar systems in the direction of where it's coming from. So we don't know. So there's that. All voices of reasons point to the idea that this is just a comet. It's an interstellar one. There's probably nothing to worry about, probably. Yeah, that's all I've got in like an hour of research. So if I'm missing something, let me know. Space people don't come for me because I like spooky things.
You've probably seen some of this video of that dramatic helicopter crash in Huntington Beach, California. Helicopter was coming into land and the accident was captured from all kinds of angles. That's a big help to investigators because it gives them multiple looks at what was going on when disaster struck. And we understand from our conversations with sources that investigators are really honed in on the tail rotor. The tail rotor appears in some of the video clips to stop spinning and maybe even spin the opposite direction briefly right before the helicopter goes into that sort of spiral downwards. Without the tail rotor, they can't balance the helicopter and you get that spin that happens. In the video, it also appears that the tail rotor flies off the helicopter during that spiral downwards. So investigators are going to want to understand, did the tail rotor fail and did it come off the helicopter? If it failed, they're going to want to know why it failed. This was an older helicopter, about 45 years old, so they're going to want to talk to the pilot about how the helicopter was maintained. They're going to want to go through its maintenance records to try to see if that's where this problem might have started from.
I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven, okay? I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly an Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven.
This king of English dance is funny and full of good vibes.
Yo, check out the sky right now. This is sick. It's the moon and Venus and the star Regulus from left to right. That is so
Well, that's
dope.
an incredible sight if it is real. Lots of interesting stuff today.
People are claiming that the European Space Agency just classified data related to 3I Atlas for 74 years. So what's really going on here? Is ESA hiding something? Most likely that's not the case, and I'll tell you why. So let's start with where this claim is coming from. This screenshot comes from ESA's official planetary science archive. It's the same system that stores Mars Express, Rosetta, and ExoMars data. And if you look at this release date, January 1st, 2099, those red lock icons mean that the files are not public yet, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're classified. And here's where the confusion most likely started. The NOMAD instrument data shows 2099, 1 of 1. And the CASSIS instrument shows 2026, 403. The 2026 entries are normal. Those are real embargo dates, typically 6 months, sometimes 12, and it can vary a bit, but it depends on when the teams finish processing the data. But the 2099, that's probably not a real date. After some research and digging, it's typically a placeholder. It's a default that's used when the system doesn't yet know the actual release date. ESA does make their policy pretty clear. Data from missions like ExoMars or Mars Express are restricted for a few months, but not decades. And after that, everything gets released to the public through the ESA archive. And also, there doesn't seem to be an official document that specifically confirms a 74-year lock, and the 2099 date just means that the file hasn't been validated yet. So while it looks like ESA buried Comet 3I Atlas data until the next century, it's really just a database that is probably being misread. Now, could it actually be classified for 74 years? I guess there's a chance. But for now, it looks like it's probably just a placeholder. If anyone else has any other input on this, please feel free to
Thank you to our friend for having lots of good
It'll
vibes
teach you something about
information,
diamonds
all
that
for
not a lot of people
entertainment
get to know.
purposes.
This is how they come out of the ground, out of a mine like
Wow.
this. Now, in order to get it to a polished, finished stone, you put it in this machine, which can help you calculate what kind of stone you could cut out of it. And if you find a flaw in the center, you could cut around it and cut 2 stones.
That's the whole trick of the business, planning and getting the most out of the money.
The boys at Reese have been in this for 4 generations. Once you get the plan, then you cut the stone with a pro. It's not a barbershop.
Guru.
LeBron
Guru.
James of cutting stones.
Yes.
How you doing, sir?
I had the 112 carat cushion.
And they come a few times in a lifetime, right?
No, he gets them every week.
When 100 carat plus stones.
Oh yeah, that's
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
50 carat.
So that's your glimpse into the center of the Diamond District, where a heritage of diamond cutting has been kept alive by these boys
Because of
for
Ziggy.
generations.
Because of Ziggy.
I hope you enjoyed this exclusive tour of the real
Wow,
Diamond
this is
District.
an expensive
A
good
very
vibes
messy
video.
slip-up for an airport ground worker in the US. He lost control while refueling a plane at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. The flammable liquid gushing over the runway. The worker backing away as the hose whipped around wildly before the fuel was cleaned up. Thankfully, nobody was injured.
So there's a rich guy and a guy who works at the hotel. The rich guy comes into the hotel and he says, I like to play cards and I want to have a poker game tonight. He was like, you think you could find me some guys to play cards with? And the guy goes, yeah, I got you, right? So here, cut the cards. So look, this guy, he goes down 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, and 4 houses, right? And he comes back and he said, I got you a menu on it. And the rich guy goes, I sure do appreciate that. Here's $2. He was like, but I'm wondering, how do you do that so fast? He was like, well, I got friends on 6th Street, 7th Street, and 8th Street. So they're continuing to play cards and everything. And the rich guy goes, you got any women around here that like to play cards? And he was like, yeah, I know some. So he was like, here, I'll go get them for you, right? Cut the cards. So this guy, he goes down 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, right? And he came back and he said, I got you them women you wanted. 2 blondes and 2 brunettes. And he goes, I sure do appreciate that. Here's $2. And he goes, I'm still wondering, how do you do that so fast? He was like, well, like I said, I got friends on 6th Street, 7th Street, and 8th Street. So they're continuing to play cards and everything. And he goes, we're tired of getting our own drinks. He said, you think you could find us some guys to get us drinks? And he goes, yeah, I got you. Right? So he cut the card. So this guy, he goes down.
Playing cards
He goes
with this
down
good
1
vibes
block,
guy would not
2
be a
blocks,
good
and 2
idea.
houses.
Yeah?
And he came back and he said, I got you a menu on it.
Aye.
You're not going to believe it. They're all
Ziggy has
in Jack.
mastered the
And he
whole,
goes, I sure do appreciate that. Here's
the whole
another
deck
$2.
of the cards.
So they're continuing to play cards and everything. And he said, you think you could find us some whiskey? And this guy's like, yeah, I got you, right? So cut the cards. So this guy goes down 1 block, 2 blocks, and 2 houses again. And he said, he came back and he said, I got you 4 bottles of Ace brand whiskey. And the guy goes, I sure do appreciate that. Here's $2 more. So they're continuing to play cards and everything. And the rich guy starts losing. He's like, look, I'm out of cash, but I got plenty. He was like, you think you could get me some, you think you could cash this check? And the guy's like, yeah, I got you. He's like, how much is it for? He said, $40. He's like, yeah, I got you. So cut the cards. So this guy goes down 1 block, 2 blocks, and 3 houses. And he comes back and he said, I cashed that check for you. Here's your $40. And the rich guy goes, I sure do appreciate that. Here's a $10 tip. And he goes, I appreciate everything you've been doing for me. He said, how old are you anyway? He said, well, I'm 46. He said, you don't look a day over 35. He said, you married? He said, yeah, man, I got 7 kids, 4 boys and 3 girls. He said, well, you've been watching us play poker all day. He was like, you play poker? He said, yeah, me and my buddies play at the 48 Club. He said, you ever win? He was like, nah, I always got a hand like this. And he goes, the rich guy goes, you got 4 9s and can't win? He said, nah, one of my buddies always has a hand like this.
What? How did...
So the difference between FaceTime and video call is nothing. It's the same thing. It's identical. It's just Apple calls their video calling app FaceTime. Google calls it Google Meet. FaceTime is a video chat app.
Oh.
That's it.
whose shoes is this? My God. Wow, they must be working in dangerous places putting on this type of shoes. What? Aye, and the foot, it can bend. The shoe, metallic. Hey.
Not as good as the picture.
That's what I thought.
What's going on here?
Right, now this is the Air
Man,
Force One.
where are these people going with these planes? Look at that formation they have made there. Oh, no. Man, this is interesting. Wow. You, my God, look at those jets. Which ones are they? Wow, it looks amazing, even though I don't know the names. It just looks good vibes. Humans are lovely, my friends.
Okay, let's think. Okay, so let's.
There you go. Wow, this guy has been feeding his hand. Look at this.
Same size. That's awesome.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Good vibes, guys. Left you here. He would send you to the next one. It's good vibes. Look at that. Wow. Humans are different and unique in their
President
own
of
ways.
Madagascar fleeing the country following weeks of demonstrations led by Gen Z protesters. And opposition lawmaker says President Andry Rajoelina left the African nation after members of the military turned against the government. It's unclear exactly where he is right now, but reports say he left on a French military plane.
The king ran from his throne. How is that possible? This is all for entertainment, my friend.